Welcome back. I want to talk to you a little bit about theory building, the actual building of theories in enterprise and commerce. And I know that as entrepreneurs, you're probably looking at me and thinking, what does theory building have to do with what we do? But you know, the truth of the matter is, all of entrepreneurship, certainly all of business, but particularly all of entrepreneurship, because it's involved in a lot of the developmental stages and the developments themselves in enterprises are very much involved in theory building. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at some of the most disruptive innovations that have come across over the last 10 to 15 years, they definitely were built upon particular theories. So I've created a PowerPoint for you, and I want you to take a look at the PowerPoint for the purpose of just simply understanding what it means to be able to suggest that theory building is the foundation for what's actually happening in the development of different types of enterprises. And if you'll notice on the left-hand side of the PowerPoint that's facing you, you have theory, and then you have evidence and empirical. What that means is that you're looking at the observations of the way customers work or the way the markets are actually working, and you're developing a theory actually based on that. On the other side, you have the concept of theory, which goes down to eventually some aspect of what ends up as a question, which is called, why is it actually happening? Whether I start with theory and I go to the question, why is it happening? Or I go to observations and then try to establish a theory that then goes to the question of, why is it happening? In either way, you always end up with a fundamental question. Why is this thing happening the way it does? And why is that relevant to you? Because at the end of the day, what we are always doing in enterprise is we're always creating either a product or we're creating a particular market that is being served by that product, or of course, some combination of those. And obviously, when we get to building a business, we call that business a business model, which is the way that we put the product and the market together with the way that we actually service both product and the marketplace. And that's the business model that we put together when it comes to our enterprise. Now, when we take a look at all of that, the entrepreneur's question always is going to be, why is this particular thing happening? And if we take a look at so many things that have happened in entrepreneurship, they really are based upon that essential question. I mean, take a look at some of the disruptive innovations that have occurred over the past several years, like Uber, for example, now Uber Eats, Amazon Prime. They all start with a fundamental question. From the Amazon standpoint, you had the opportunity to be able to go to a retail store and to be able to buy at a retail off online level, right? A brick and mortar level. What was the fundamental problem that you had going online, besides several other issues? One of the issues is that they were going to have to ship it to you, and when they shipped, there was going to be a shipping expense related to that. So based on that fundamental question that Amazon asked themselves, why is this particular thing occurring? They came up with a concept, which of course is called Amazon Prime. And with Amazon Prime, for one simple cost on an annual basis, you have so many Amazon Prime items which are actually shipped to you free of charge. So what does that actually mean? What that means is you load up into your basket all of the different things that you're going to want Amazon to be shipping to you on a monthly basis. I know we do. So we take all of our paper goods and our tissue papers and our various supplies for the kitchen and our various supplies for the laundry. And on a monthly basis, we have these things simply shipped to the house. And I know individuals that have so much more than that. What about other types of concepts? What about the concept of crowdsourcing? Crowdsourcing has taken the world by storm at this point. And what does it really represent? It leverages out what otherwise enterprises used to have to pay for on a per facto basis, so that for services which are being done, I only pay for the services themselves, and as opposed to having to pay a salary for particular services. And in addition to that, I do that on the basis of a competitive structure of pricing, which allows me to get it very inexpensively in relationship to the type of overhead that I would need. Crowdsourcing was, at one point in time, nothing other than a theory. And that theory ultimately manifested itself into particular platforms that delivered categories of products and services, which gave the opportunity to do that. What about same concept, crowdsourcing in the reverse? What about user-generated content? Whether that user-generated content came from what? Video, we call that YouTube, or photography work, and the opportunity to be able to load up photographs that others could actually utilize and pay small royalties for, which absolutely exploded that entire content. We have the opportunity, a company that I used to be involved with Command Trade, which is an automated trading platform. We had the entire trading community able to actually upload their algorithms to our particular software platform, and so forth and so on. If we take a look at the concept, for example, that both Uber and Airbnb share, it comes from a theory. And the theory is that a consumer is prepared to either get in your car, as the case may be, or rent a room in your house, as the case may be, as long as they have the opportunity to have access to that, and so forth and so on. My friends, I could, and I have in fact taught an entire session on just this one concept of theory building, and of course we don't have that type of time here. But the issue from my perspective is that I want you as an entrepreneur to be thinking about what is the fundamental theory that supports the product or the service, and more importantly, what's the fundamental theory that is actually extrapolated out of these behaviors that I am noticing from consumers and from other types of users that would give me an opportunity either to develop or to potentially discover or to very possibly create in my field of entrepreneurship. That's it for today. Glad you could join me, and I'll talk to you next time. God bless. Bye.